Hello everyone, my name is Anthony and I wanted to say congratulations on kicking off your keto and your low carb journeys. So I thought today would be a great day to hop on here and just give you guys a few different tips when it comes to starting out this lifestyle, just to make things a little bit simpler for you. But I thought there could be no better guide than my good friend Stephanie. She's done such an amazing job at transitioning her home into a low carb lifestyle. I thought she would be great to help give you tips to get you started in a simple and cost-effective way. So listen in, here's my good friend Stephanie.
Page. My name is Stephanie Milkey. Whether you've been here for a week, a couple days, brand new, a couple months, or even a couple years, I hope everybody's having an absolutely amazing day. Okay, we are diving into all things ketones, ketosis, Keto 101, 8 simple steps to really start this lifestyle journey for you. And so this is kind of how our family started. I'm going to share with you some tips and some tricks to look at this lifestyle as a journey, to look at this lifestyle as a, hey, I'm not going to flip my kitchen in a week and hope for success, and then drop everything, come back next year, and you've gained more weight back than you lost the year prior. And so here's the deal. There's a couple rules to this page. I often say, if you haven't heard me say it before, I love to say, take off your black robe. What does that mean? That means this page is here to help inspire people. This Keto Mom community is here because guess what? Nobody is perfect. We go with the rule of the good, better, best option here. So you probably won't find a very strict ketogenic diet here. Like, I will tell you how to do it. And I talk to a lot of you, and we go back and forth, and we talk macros, and we talk net carbs, and we talk all of those fun things. But for 90% of people, they're on a journey to better, and it's 1% better every day. So we talk about either being 1% better or 1% worse. We talk about there's good, better, and there's best options. And so on this page, we collaborate together. We share what we're doing for meals. We encourage each other. And so that's what we're going to do. So if you are going to be watching this, here are the rules. Take your black robe off, right? Because this is a journey. And the lifestyle that's going to work for you is the one that you're going to stick with long term. Here's another rule for you. While you're watching, you have to smile. We're going to have some fun. We're going to collaborate, go back and forth, and we're just going to learn something. Are you ready? Okay, so this is what we are talking about. I would love to know where you're tuning in from as well. So if you want to let me know, why don't you pop that below? Here is the deal. This is what we're talking about. We are talking about keto, low carb, real food. I need you to understand something. If you were to have studied the ketogenic diet years and years and years ago, this isn't a new term. Now, right now you're hearing it's a buzzword, right? Because people are going, oh, keto, I want to do that, or my girlfriend does that, or my mom does that, right? It's a buzzword, but guess what? Years and years and years ago, it's not new. It's been around for a long, long time. Prior to people using it for fat loss and better focus and energy and all of the benefits they're finding from ketones, guess what? It was used for a medical application. It was used for children. It was used for lots of different things. So a lot of people go, oh, I don't know if that's healthy. Yeah, it is. There's research. There's documentation. There are kids that live this way. There's lots of people that live this way. So there's lots of different benefits to having your body either make ketones or you drinking them. And there's lots of different benefits that a lot of you are experiencing. But guess what? Sometimes people hear keto and they think low carb. A lot of people have this term kind of messed up, or they just don't know even what to do. If they're overwhelmed, they feel like they're sinking before they even start. Let me tell you, that was me. So if you are like me, guess what? 6 or 7 years ago, our family started on this journey, and it wasn't me. It was my husband, and guess what? He did the ketogenic diet. What does that look like? He's eating really high fats. He was eating really low carb. He wanted fat loss. He was weighing all of his food, pricking his finger, seeing if his body was in ketosis, and I am a mom of 4 girls. Well, we both, obviously, he's my husband. We have 4 girls. We homeschool. If you know me at all, or you've been around this page at all, you know that I live in a baseball cap. I've got a braid usually in my hair, and I'm usually in workout clothes. That's just who I am. We run around our house. We stay super active. And so when my husband started doing this, I was like, there's no way. There's no way I'm giving up my pizza and my chicken nuggets and my corn dogs and all of the boxed foods that I lived on my entire life. So I remember, and I will spare you the long story, but the very short, quick story was I realized that my husband really wanted to do this. He wanted to eat better. And it was my fault that I was not helping my family. Like, I was holding us back. So I said, okay, I'm gonna lock arms with you, babe. I'm gonna do this, and we are gonna do this together. I went to the grocery store. I remember I had got 4 girls, right? And they were little babies at the time. So there was she was probably a baby 2, 4, 6. So going to the grocery store, that in itself is stressful enough. So mom, grocery, I'm loading up the grocery cart, legitimately walked into the grocery store and immediately overwhelmed. Has anybody ever felt like that? Like, I walked in and I instantly had tears because I was like, I don't know how to cook. I've never even bought real vegetables that weren't in a can before. I don't know how to steam vegetables. What does that even mean? I've never made anything that didn't require like hamburger helper or frozen pizza and mac and cheese. So I get where you're coming from. Like, I understand the overwhelm. Like, I don't even know where to start. And most of the time people don't start because they look at this keto diet and their head is, they're buried, right? Like, I'm already sinking and I haven't even gone to the store. So this is what we did. I rolled out of the grocery store with no groceries, probably 4 kids crying because I was crying. And I remember coming home and going, babe, I don't know how to do this. Like, I know you want to eat better. I know you want to feed our family better. I don't know what to cook. Anybody else there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you back, and we're going to start with a very simple process. I'm going to give you a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of knowledge, how to start, what it looks like. But here's the deal. This is not meant to be perfect. You're going to look at the ketogenic diet and you can find all extremes, right? We live in a world of social media and every single thing that we want is at our fingertips. So you need to decide how you are going to do it and what's best for you. There are people that can do a really strict ketogenic diet. They count all of the carbs in their broccoli and all of the carbs in their onions, and they're very extreme, right? Some people have to be, some people choose to be. That's like 5% of people, or maybe 3, or maybe 2.5, right? Then there's this middle group of like, hey, I'm doing great. I'm not in ketosis all the time. I probably overeat on my protein. And guess what though? I feel great. And then there's this group where they're like, lazy keto, low carb. If I can get under 50 or 60 carbs a day, but I know that I'm eating better foods, I feel great and I'm super happy with that. And guess what? Like I said in the beginning, this is not about perfection. This is about your journey, and the one that you stick with long-term is the one that's going to work for you. So with all of that said, remember, when you're watching people and you're reading things and you're Googling things and you're following all of these keto experts, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. But what we've done over the last 6 years is we've learned, we've watched, we've taken in the things that we think worked for our family. We've got rid of the things that I was like, I'm not going to do that. And so this is what we did. We've created a lifestyle. This is what we did. So the lifestyle that is going to work for you, we're not going to say diet because this is meant to be long-term. Our family's been on this journey for almost 4 years. And so it is a lifestyle now. Like, we know how to eat. We know the things to choose from. I know I don't count my macros today. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the lifestyle that works for you is the one that you're going to stick with long term, right? The one that's going to work for you, not somebody else around the corner, not the person that wrote the book, not the person that you're watching that's telling you you're doing it wrong. You pick the things that work for you. You work on it one step at a time, and eventually you'll get to where you feel amazing. But it's a process. And remember this, where you are today, you didn't get to overnight. So maybe it's fat loss journey. Maybe it's just understanding how to be a better cook. Maybe you want your whole family on this journey. Maybe you want more muscle. Maybe you want to lean out. Maybe you want to be a better runner. Maybe you want, whatever your better is, guess what? It's a process. Just how you got here today, you're going to work on it and you're going to get there eventually. 1% better every day. So here's your 8 steps. This is where we're going to start. Hopefully you can follow along. Hopefully it'll be great. We've got 8 steps. I kind of broke it down and kind of how what we did specifically to move this lifestyle into rolling into 4 years almost. Number one, are you ready? Number one is the word ketosis. What does that mean? I know a lot of you are like, I don't even know how I got on your page. What are ketones? A lot of you and I chat often. Number one, ketones, and how do we get there? So here's the deal. There's two different ways. Guess what? Your body can make them or you can drink them. So if your body is going to make them, there's two ways. And you can choose whichever way you want to, or you can do both, and it's okay. So we're having fun. We're playing full out. You better be smiling, right? So number one, we're going to count your macros, and this is approximations. What in the world are macros? They're your fats, your proteins, and your carbs. And actually, some people are arguing, or not arguing, they're saying, guess what? Ketones are actually going to become a macro. Who knows if, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't write the books, but fats, proteins, and carbs. If you want your body to make ketones, guess what you have to do? You're going to have to probably get a little tracker like MyFitnessPal or anything to track your food. We did this in the very beginning. Why? Because it gives you a good visualization of what you're doing. So there's a couple things I need you to understand. If you want your body to make ketones, you've got to get very, very, very specific of the foods that you're eating. So you're going to want to track your food, right? You're going to want to eat approximately 80% fat. Maybe it's 75% fat. Remember, this isn't a one size fits all. So 80% fat, 15% protein, and 5% carbs. I've talked to about a handful of you today that keep going, I've eaten too much protein. How do I do that? It is a work in progress. So I'll give you an example. If you are just starting, brand new, you want to know what we did? Got into MyFitnessPal, hold on, got on the phone, got onto MyFitnessPal, and all I did for a good solid couple days is I ate what I thought I knew to eat. So for breakfast, I would eat some eggs and bacon. For lunch, I would take the bread off the sandwich, right? For supper, I would get rid of the mashed potatoes or the pasta. I didn't get super frustrated about what was in my tracker. All I did was, I think this is a great option. This seems 1% better, so I would type it in my tracker, right? And then at the end of the day, I would actually see where my macros were. I would look at the little pie chart and I would go, oh, I actually did pretty good. I ate, maybe I ate 50% fat. So it's not to be perfect. What this simply does is it makes you go, oh, I know what I'm doing. That was actually really good. Or, oh, I had no idea I ate 400 grams of carbs today. I didn't even know what I ate had carbs. Like, this is a really good indication for you to just tweak it from there. So just to get a really good understanding, you don't have to track your food forever. It is honestly kind of annoying. So we did it for a while. Once you have a really good understanding of what to eat, how to eat, what your meals look like, I don't track my food anymore. If I decide to eat something that is super, super high in carbs and sugars, I'm going to feel it. And I have to choose, like, do I want to feel like garbage or do I not want to? Right? And so long term, fast forward to today, I don't track my food. If I wanted to, I could go back and just kind of have fun with it to see where my macros end up. But for you starting right now, is it a good idea? Sure. Right? It gives you a good visualization. But if you want your body to make ketones, ketones are a fuel source. So when your body makes them, your body's using stored fat as fuel. And what you're going to do is you're going to have great success with fat loss. Ketones go to your brain. Ketones help with focus, energy, appetite control, better mood. People are sleeping better. They're feeling better. And so ketones are phenomenal. Now there's two ways, like I told you. Some people don't believe that's true. And I'm going to say, guess what? I can prove it. Prove it. So, okay, so you can do that or you can drink them. Really? So my husband did the diet 2 years before I joined him. One day he said, Stephanie, I found something I want you to try. And I said, I think I'm good. Here's the deal. I was being a super supportive wife. I thought, I'll try it one time. Please don't bother me. I don't want to eat. This is prior to me realizing I needed to be a supportive wife. I was like, babe, here's the deal. And I need somebody to hear this very, very clearly. I was not a very nice wife, meaning I would stock our cupboards with Debbie snacks, Oreos, Chips Ahoy cookies, chips. And I would say to my husband, who really had this battle with food. Is that you? Like, oftentimes I'll find a family and there's one that legitimately struggles and they've got these challenges and they've got these cravings, and saying no to food is so hard unless it's out of mind, out of sight, right? And I never had that struggle. So I would say, babe, get some discipline. Don't eat all the cookies. I didn't understand then what I know now, that legitimately it is hard. People have got emotional ties to food. I've learned so much. So guess what? If you're one of those people that, you know, you maybe don't, you've got pretty good discipline, so maybe you could keep a pack of Oreos in your house and you only eat 1 or 2 a month. Awesome. The average person cannot do that. So I would say be super supportive to the person that's really trying hard to do whatever their better is, whatever their goals are. Meaning, if there are things that are their biggest challenge in their home, then you support them and you don't keep them in your home. So with all that being said, my husband handed me a packet. It was orange, and he said, Stephanie, I found something. I don't know if it's going to work or not, because prior to this, he was tracking everything he ate, weighing it, pricking his finger. I remember watching him being like, babe, we're supposed to eat margarine. Margarine, that's what I grew up on. And as he's like shoving his face with butter, right? And so I'm joking kind of, but not really. And so I said, okay, I'll try it. And he goes, here's the deal. He goes, I kind of feel 2 different ways. I feel like it's awesome because if this works, this is going to help thousands of people. And I remember him saying, and it's not fair, because he goes, I have slaved and I have done all of the macros and I've gotten everything down to a T of what I need to eat so I stay in ketosis, right? So anyways, I tried ketones. What did I do with this? I shook it up, I put it in water, and I went away for 3 days to a homeschool conference, and I had 3 packets with me. I said, babe, don't you dare ask me to talk about it. Don't you dare ask me anything. I will try it. I will see what I think. And let me tell you something. I always joke around with my girlfriends, and I'll say, if anybody else would have handed me this packet, I would have said, no. I'm an optimistic mom. I feel just fine. I've never struggled with my weight other than having 4 babies up and down with the weight, right? I said, but I don't need anything. Like, I've never drank coffee. I've never grabbed soda. I've never drank any caffeine, anything, water. And so I said, well, water and milk. And I said, okay, we'll see what happens. I called him up that day and I was like, what in the world did you give me? And he was like, it's ketones. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, I'm drinking ketones? And he's like, yeah, like what my body makes, now you can drink them. He's like, I know it's weird. I don't understand it, but we're going to learn more about it. And so what I need you to understand is this. Fast forward 4 years. I drank this for the first day and I didn't need a nap. And I thought, that's weird, right? I'm sitting at a homeschool conference by 3 o'clock. Everybody's like dozing off. And I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm sneaking into the bathroom, peeing on little pee strips going, babe, I've never felt better. I don't know what ketones are, but I feel great. And so what I realized is ketones are a fuel source. Like I said, you can make them, you can drink them, you can do both. But what's powerful is I didn't need a nap. And for me as a mom, not taking a nap, like I thought, to be expected. All moms need a nap. Like, I'm supposed to be tired, right? Fast forward 4 years, legitimately, I joke with people, I don't take a nap. I don't need a nap. I don't even think of a nap. I've got stuff to do. I've never felt better in my life. So I need you to know something. 2 ways to get your body into ketosis, right? 1, your body makes them. You track everything. Number 2, you can drink them, and you can put it, it's a powder, you shake it up, you drink it in under an hour. You don't have to wait. Long term, your body's in ketosis. So I'm going to talk more about this at the end. But if you want to know more, post a 5 or a 10 below, 5 or 10 in the comments, and I will send you some stuff to look at, to read. You and I are just going to chat. So number 1 is getting your body into ketosis. Am I very clear? That's number 1, that is our goal, right? So with that being said, number 2, this is where we start. So number 1 is more of a mind shift. Like, my goal is ketosis. Not everybody wants to be there. Not everybody will get there food-wise because they eat too much protein, they eat too many carbs, they don't sleep, stress knocks them out of ketosis. Like, you need to know something. It's not super easy to stay there. And the question I get often is this: is it safe to be in ketosis long term? I mean, can I be there for years? And I'm going to say to you, Let me know if you stay in ketosis nutritionally for longer than a couple days or even a week. Like the likelihood of your body and you actually staying in ketosis, unless you truly need to, is very unlikely. And this is why this is so great, because I drink one of these every single day and I have ketones in my system. And then from there, I feel amazing. So here's what I did. You guys wanna know what I did? This is where I started. I didn't start with the food. Remember, I went to the grocery store, came home crying with 4 crying babies and an overwhelmed mom. I was overwhelmed. So I said, this is my life preserver. Got my head above the water, gave me the energy, the focus, the appetite control, all of that. And then guess what I did? One step at a time, 1% better every single day. So number 2, this is where you start. You drink more water. That's it. So let's work on like, what are you drinking right now? Grab a favorite shaker bottle. Keep shaker bottles around your house, or grab one and you put 2 in your office, or put one in your purse, put one in your car. I love to drink out of a straw. So if it's not out of a shaker bottle, it is in a, I just drink more water if I've got a straw. I don't care what it is. Figure out what you need to do to get more water in your system. Like, get yourself drinking water. I don't care if it's warm. I don't care if it's cold. I don't care if it's filtered. Like, well, I mean, drink some good water. But number 2, we're working on your water intake, right? And so super simple, set yourself up for success. My husband tells me to do this every day, but you really should be, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to drink 1 to 2 cups of water every morning. Not like freezing cold water, just like water to wake up your system. It's so hard, you should try it. I'm like, bleh. But because when you wake up, you can be dehydrated, drink some water, knock out your day. Number 3, the next step we're gonna do. So what we did next is I got out the processed sugar and junk, and I said, okay, once I drank my ketones and I felt great, then I worked on my water intake, and now we work on this. I went through the cupboard and I said, what do I not need? The Debbie snacks have to go. The Oreos had to go, and the sugar cereal had to go. So one thing at a time. This is honestly what I did. When the box was empty, I threw it in the garbage and I didn't buy it again. When the cereal box was gone, I threw it in the recycle and I didn't buy it again. And so I didn't go shove a whole bunch of food because I wasn't willing to do that, because I loved sugar. So what I did is when it was gone, I stopped buying it. You need to understand something, and this goes for you, your kids, your family, everybody around you. There is no shortage of sugar anywhere. My kids get offered suckers at the bank, at the grocery store. There's free cupcakes and donuts at the bakery. Like, I don't care where we go. There's enough snacks and desserts. So in our home, this is the rule. We don't bring Debbie snacks and Oreos and cookies into our home. When we bake, we use things like sugar replacements, like Swerve, and we go and we Google a fun recipe and make something that's more of a low carb keto treat. That's what we do in our home. When we're outside of the home, here's what you need to understand for yourself, for your kids, if this is a goal to help your entire family. I tell the girls, here's the deal. Our family's not on a diet. And if your goal is to do this with your kids, your words are super powerful. So hear me very clearly. You are not fat. Your spouse isn't fat. You're not on a diet. Like, this isn't mommy's and daddy's food. This is, hey, our family's eating healthy so that we can fuel our bodies the best that we can. But you need to know something. If you start saying that you're fat, you're on a diet, mom's got to make a different meal, oh, dad's got to eat that, he's on a diet, your kids aren't going to eat those vegetables. Your kids are going to go, oh, all that healthy food our parents are eating are only when you get fat, or only when you're on a diet. So that was the first thing. If we've never talked about like, I'm so fat. We don't talk about that. Plus I've got 4 girls. And so the biggest thing we did is I said, here's the deal. When the girls are at somebody's house, whether it's a birthday party or they're out and about, and if they choose to have a cupcake or 2, like, we don't make them in our homes. It's their choice, right? And in the beginning, they didn't choose wisely. If you were to see them today, they go, I don't know if that's a good choice. What's a better option? Maybe I'll have half. Maybe I'll have 1 and not 3 or 4, right? So because as you eat better, your kids will watch you and they'll eat better. And what happens is you teach them how to feel their, how their body reacts. So you as an adult, right? We're learning this right now. If we could have learned this when we were young, think of how you could set your kids up for success. So when you eat something super full of sugar, carbs, you feel it. You're sitting at the office at 3 o'clock, you just ate and it hits you and you hit the wall, right? You have this crazy carb crash, you come down, you get crabby, you get hangry, you get tired, you're gonna fall asleep. Whatever it is, it's because of the food. If you can correlate food with how your kids are feeling, they're going to choose better. I've seen it over the years with my kids. So they'll go, I don't know, I feel really good. I don't think that's a good choice for me. Or if they go, my stomach hurts, or I don't feel very good, or man, I feel gross, I'll go, oh, what did you eat at that party? And they'll go, yeah, I had too many treats. Like, they know it, right? Like, it's how your body feels, not like you shouldn't eat that because of how you're gonna look. I hope that's making sense. So I'm very, very, very like super forward with like families and how they speak to their kids and how the kids look at their food. Okay, number 4. So we talked about ketones. We talked about drinking water, getting the sugar out, right? Number 4, this is what I did next. Got out the flour, the wheat, and the grains. What I mean by that is this. I took the buns off the burgers, the croutons off the salad, and grabbed a lettuce wrap instead and got rid of the pasta. You want to hear something super funny? I made the same supper for my family for an entire month, like a whole month. And so because I was overwhelmed, remember, we've got babies and we're trying to eat better. And so what I need you to understand is this. There's a lot of different options that you can do. You can almost take any single meal that you love and tweak it to make it low carb and pivot and add something to it or take something out of it. And so simple things, don't make the rice, right? Grab some extra vegetables, don't grab the pasta, use zucchini noodles. Don't make the potatoes, make cauliflower potatoes, or just add some extra vegetables and protein. So keep it super simple. Okay, number 5, add some good fats. What does that mean and what is good fats? This is a very, very tricky one because here's what people often do. They go, I've seen this happen. Hey, I'm eating keto. Guess what? I'm gonna binge on bacon and butter. That's not keto. And it's joking when you say all I eat is bacon. Here's the deal. When people are eating better and they're focused on eating healthier, it's not just bacon, people. So for those of you people who are like, you're not eating keto, like bacon is great, right? But some good fats. We've got some good organic butter, right? So you can cook your vegetables in that. All vegetables taste great with butter and garlic in them. Avocados, these are great fats. We've got MCT oil. What is this? You can put this in your coffee. You can put it on your salad. You can put it in your eggs. Like MCT oil is coconut oil. And so that gets your good fats up. There's lots of ways to get some good fats in. Nuts, almonds. The biggest thing with nuts is don't overdo them. So portion them out when you get a big bin and grab one little snack baggie. Don't eat the entire bucket. I've done that before and you end up eating like 5 cups of nuts. That's too much. Even good meats, right? Like meat has good fat in it. So what I find is this. When somebody dives into this lifestyle, they all of a sudden binge on fat, and something that you need to understand. A big question that pops up here is, do I have to be consumed with calories or am I just counting all of my macros? And I'm going to tell you, it's kind of a give and take. What can happen is, did you know, and remember, I'm not a doctor or I'm not an expert, but I have learned from a lot of them, that calories in fat, there are more calories in fat than there are in carbs. Meaning, what happens when somebody binges on, like, not binges, but all of a sudden they go to low carb, high fat and they start trying to eat 80% fat. Do you want to know what happens? When you're eating fat, your body stays full longer, right? So you don't have to eat 6 meals a day. You don't even have to eat large portions like you do. You don't even have to eat nearly as much food. But what happens is people are tracking their food and they get really, really like, I've got to get my 80% fat in. I've got to get all my fat in today. And they overeat on fat. That means they overeat on calories, which means they don't have a calorie deficit. That's a big term for you need to eat less calories if you want to have fat loss, which a lot of you are here for. And so they overeat on fat. They really overeat on fat. Like, people are eating a lot of fat. Now, don't misunderstand this. When you're eating a ketogenic diet, a very strict diet, right? You're not drinking this, but you're eating like 80% fat. Like, you probably got it down to a T. When my husband when he had his numbers correct, and it took him 4 weeks to get his body really in ketosis long enough before he'd go in and out, he had that thing nailed down, right? He knew what to eat. He knew how many tablespoons of butter. Like, he had this figured out. Most people don't want to. That's why we say we eat keto-ish or low carb. We take the buns off the burgers, the croutons off the salad. I grab an avocado in the morning, or we'll snack on this in the afternoon. I put some butter on our vegetables, but I don't feel like, I don't get to the end of the night, and you shouldn't do this either. If you're not hungry, number one, don't eat. If you've got some great fats in your system, whether it's in the morning or afternoon, guess what? It's gonna keep you fuller longer. You're not gonna have to eat as much. But what happens is people go, oh, it's 7 o'clock at night. I still need 10% fat. I'm gonna go shove some fat bombs in my face. And you wanna know what they're doing? You're overeating. You're overeating too much fat, which you're eating too many calories. And then what's happening is you're either at a plateau, or you might feel like you're gaining weight, or you're just not where you wanna be. So this is a process meant to be in a week. This is something learned, and you have to listen to your body. Are you hungry? Are you bored? Are you eating out of emotion? Are you eating because the clock says to eat? Are you eating because you're at the theater and everybody eats at the theater? Are you eating because it's your time of the month? I mean, these are legitimate things that journal if you need to. Track it. Before you eat something, you should write down and go, how do I feel? Am I legitimately hungry or am I bored? You want to know something? I'm not going to go over this right now. I'll go over this later. But the Reboot is a great option, and it's a phenomenal kit to help you understand that food doesn't have to control you. You control it. And it really helps you go, I didn't realize how much I was eating out of habit. Okay, that was number 5. Number 6, intermittent fasting. I just labeled it IF. A lot of people ask about this. Do I intermittent fast? My husband does. Have I? Yes. Do I do it all the time? No. What is intermittent fasting? All it is it's really like eating in a time window. So you stop eating around 7, 8 o'clock at night. You don't eat till the next day, lunchtime. So some people eat at 11, 12, and it all varies. Some people will go, I'm doing 16 hours, or I'm doing 20. I mean, there's lots. Again, this is another thing that if you Googled, you're gonna find a lot of information about intermittent fasting. It is a time frame where you don't eat. You stop eating at night. You don't eat till lunchtime. There's lots of things in this too. Some people say the intermittent fasting doesn't count if you drink anything besides water. Some people go, nope, you can drink your fat coffee and your ketones and you're just fine. Please do what works best for you. If you want to get up in the morning and not drink anything from when you go to bed until lunchtime and only drink water, and that works for you, awesome. If you want to get up in the morning and have your fat coffee and drink your ketones and then eat a lunch, awesome, right? We're not here to judge. We're here to go, this is what's working for me, and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm feeling great. Remember, there's lots of ways to measure success, not just the scale, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Okay, number 7. We're almost done with these 8 little steps. Is last meal by 7 o'clock, or some people say 8. The point is this: shut down the kitchen around 7 or 8 o'clock, and the kitchen is closed. So when you go sit in front of the TV, when you're doing some work, when you're reading before bed, there's no snacking. So grab some water, grab your shaker bottle, and the kitchen is closed. You don't need to be snacking at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, okay? Last, number 8. This is what I did. We moved our bodies. A lot of people think they need to go and kill themselves in the gym, and that's not the case. You don't work out to eat. Some people do, but that's not how you're going to see fat loss. Your fat loss is going to be made or lost in the kitchen. Moving your body doesn't have to mean you've got to go and take these crazy weight classes. That might mean I'm going to go for a walk. And guess what? I've got the energy to go for a walk because I've already got ketones in my system as I'm learning how to eat better. I'm going to go play basketball with my kids. I'm going to go for a swim. I'm going to go walk the dog. I'm going to go whatever that is, right? It doesn't have to be a strenuous workout. For the very first year of us eating this way, I went to the grocery store, came home in tears, decided to do this. I was like, okay, one step at a time. We did one thing at a time, which I'm going to walk you very specifically through the foods that we did. And then a year later, after I felt amazing, after I felt like I had our food under control, after I was drinking ketones for a year, you want to know what I did? I said, babe, I think I could join a gym. I really want to have really big muscles like some of those ladies that are into fitness. I mean, for real, that's what I said. So you want to know what I did? I had an accountability partner, which was my sister. She came and picked me up because she was a trainer at 5:30 in the morning, so I had to go. And I got up and I went to the gym every single day. I felt amazing. But it wasn't until a year later. And half the time I was at the gym, I was there with 5 other ladies just gabbing. So my husband would joke and he would say, "You're just there to talk." And I'm like, "Well, my mouth is getting a workout, so that's okay." No, but really that's what I did. Is like, it was a process. It was a year. And I got to the end of the year and I was like, man, I feel great. Like, if you're not willing to give this longer than a couple weeks, like, just go back to the way that you were eating. Like, it's not even worth it, because the scale isn't going to dictate like how you're going to feel, or even like what you might see even in a couple weeks here. Like, you might as well quit. I hear it all the time. Okay, we're going to talk about that real quick, actually. The scale. How do you measure success here when you're eating low carb, keto, keto-ish? The scale, you need to get it out of your house, give it to your neighbor, put it in the dumpster, put it in your trunk, take the batteries out. I don't care what you do. There are lots of ways to measure success. Fat loss is about inches lost. How are your clothes fitting? How are you feeling? Ketones are a fuel source. Like, I'll hear people go, "I've never felt better. I've got more energy. I can play with my kids. I can come home from work and still have time for my family," right? "I'm cooking more. I'm going for walks. I'm more focused at my job, but I'm not seeing the fat loss, so I don't think I'm going to do it anymore." I hear it all the time, and I'm like, hold on. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. You're feeling great. Yeah, but the scale's not moving, so it's not working. So my question to you is, awesome, what are you going to go do? Like, I mean, are you going to go back to eating, like, I would go back to eating chicken nuggets and corn dogs and Debbie snacks. Like, does that even make sense? The question here is always, is this healthy for you? Is this good long term? Most people's bodies, you need to hear me, are not in ketosis long term. The likelihood of your body making ketones on a regular basis for months and months and months is unlikely. I drink them, right? These are water soluble. They go straight to my bloodstream. They go where my body needs them to go. But you need to understand something. Listen, if you just look at the foods that we eat, the salads, the good meats, the vegetables, the good fats, avocados, the Himalayan salt that we add to our food, all of these things, right? If you're like, that's not good for you, but if you back up and you look at what I used to eat, then you go, oh yeah, I guess that probably is good for you. People, you know what's so funny is they're so quick to shove a Coke and a burger and fries in their mouth, but when you tell them to eat something healthy, they'll be like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do my research on that. I mean, did you research what you just bought through the drive-thru? I mean, really, did you research it? And so I'm kind of being sarcastic. Did you catch that? Okay, real quick. I will end this very, very soon. This is what I did to get our family on track. Those 8 steps. And when we were diving into eating better, I started with one meal. I posted this, something just like this, on the refrigerator, and I said, okay, breakfast options: fat coffee, eggs, sausage, bacon. I either intermittent fast or I eat keto pancakes. So when my kids would go, "I'm hungry for breakfast, there's no cereal," and I'm like, awesome. Did you see what the fridge says? Eggs, bacon, or sausage, or keto pancakes. What do you want? When they're hungry enough, or when you are hungry enough, guess what? You'll eat what you have. And so that's what we did. As soon as I felt like breakfast is under control, I did the same thing for lunch and snacks and dinner. I posted a little sheet of paper with markers all over it that said lunch. And it had things like deli meat. We do eat it. And guess what? It's okay. I try to buy nitrate-free meat. There's a lot of great deli meats. I promise you, you'll be okay. And we would eat ham, cream cheese, pickle roll-ups, and my kids like guacamole with a spoon, and like lots of different things. Guess what? I put all those fun options on a piece of paper on the fridge, and when they were hungry, they would eat them for snacks. We would have beef sticks and cheese sticks. My kids are not keto. We just got the processed sugar and junk out. So they still like apples, they still eat carrots, they eat all of that stuff with peanut butter. So they're not perfect, but they're not eating they're not eating or drinking this crazy, sugary, carby food. And so I was like, go grab a hard-boiled egg, grab some pickles. We've got some vegetables and dip in there. And we just learned one thing at a time. For dinner, I took out the pasta, and you wanna know what I did? Here's what I made for an entire month. My oldest daughter actually remembers this. I browned up some hamburger. I cooked this. I put butter in it with garlic because I was like, okay, I need fats. I didn't even know what an avocado was at this time when we started eating, nor did I know how to cut this thing up. I didn't even know how to buy them. I had to have my girlfriend teach me how to do this. So I made hamburger with garlic and butter, and then I would grab a frozen bag of broccoli or cauliflower, put more butter in it, and that's what we ate. So my husband would come home from work, and he'd say, what's for dinner? And I'd be like, hamburger and broccoli, or hamburger and cauliflower, you choose. I'm not kidding. Like, I didn't want to be overwhelmed, and I didn't know what to make, so that's what I made until I got comfortable with what we were eating. I would go Google a new recipe and find something else to make. We would get the grill out, and we would just grill a whole bunch of meat and vegetables, and we just tried new things. That's how we started this lifestyle. I didn't get ingrained in my mind that everything was going to be perfect. I needed to hit my macros. Like, I drank this. Like, you can do it. I'm going to give you a very specific, here, listen to this. So our family, if you've been following us for a while, we travel a lot. We're all over the place. We were born and raised in Minnesota. Last winter, we have a place in Florida, and we're kind of everywhere in between. Right now, we're in Kentucky. So we have a home in Minnesota, and we've got a place in Florida. If I take and I pack up my kids in the van, and if we drive to Minnesota, from Minnesota to Florida, it takes us about 3 days if I don't want to be stressed out, right? And just have a good time. I mean, we could stop, go. You can make it really fast, maybe 2 days. Or I can get on an airplane, get there in 2 hours. It's the same concept. Your body can make ketones, right? You can get your body to make them and do it in 3, 4, 5 days. Some people, it takes a long time. Or you can drink them, and you can get your body in ketosis in under an hour, and your body can make them. Hear me very clearly. You can do both. Not all ketones are created equal, so you need to know something. You can track this. You can see it in your blood. I've done lots and lots of videos here of testing my blood ketones after drinking this, and you can see the numbers go up. How do you track your ketones? That's a common question. You can pee on a stick, or you can track your blood. I would very, very, very much, if you've been doing this long term, you track your blood. You want to know why? That's the most accurate. When you pee on that strip, you can pee off the strip. The longer you do it, the color won't show. Like, they're not accurate. And so this is what I did. This is like the airplane, right? And that's how we've gotten to where we are today. And so this is what I need you to know. Don't mess up good for perfect. Do not be one of those people that don't do anything because you're so overwhelmed. It's better to do something and not reach your goal than to do nothing. Like, it's better to do just a little bit, one step that day, or maybe you drive to the gym, you don't actually go in, but then you go home, right? That's 1% better. You drove to the gym. Like, maybe tomorrow you actually go in and stay there for 5 minutes and then you leave, right? Maybe today or tomorrow, you wanna know what you did? You had a really good solid breakfast, a good fats and proteins, and you felt great. Maybe you totally bombed lunch, but you did 1% better. You started, right? You took that step of like, I'm not gonna have this cereal today, I'm gonna go make some eggs. 1% better. So here's a couple takeaways for you real quick. Think about this. Every time you go to the fridge, every time that you grab something at your office, you walk into the employee lounge, or you stop at the gas station, you go out to eat, or you're making dinner for your family, think, is this 1% better or 1% worse? Is this gonna help my body be better where I want it to go? Is this 1% better towards my goal? Or is it 1% worse, right? And don't, like, if you mess up, it doesn't mean that you can't get back on track. But if you can think about it like that, that's gonna help you make those teeny little changes that you might not see in a week or a month, but long term, over time, it will create great habits, and those habits are gonna help you immensely. Like, I promise, you will get here next year and you'll be so thankful for those little baby steps every single day that you did, and where you will be next year will be completely different. Something that you need to understand, and one of my favorite benefits of this too, is for those of you who think that, can I have a cheat day? Hey, can I have a cheat meal? What do you do with that? Stephanie, do you ever cheat? Yes. There are times when I don't eat the healthiest foods. We're not perfect. Like, I love chips and I love chocolate chip cookies. We've found things to make them more keto-ish or low carb, but if I want to have a cookie and I'm at a birthday party and there's chocolate chip cookies, I'm probably going to have one. Here's the kicker. If you are going to have a cheat meal or a cheat day, If your body is making ketones, if you're on a strict keto diet and you're like, I'm not drinking them, awesome. You better find yourself a way to get back on track. So the next day you drink a whole bunch of water, you're gonna have these crazy cravings because you have to get back on track. Your body's gonna go, oh, I love that sugar that you ate, that I got to eat last week, and now we're eating it again this week. It's a vicious cycle, right? So it might take you 3 days to get back on track. Then the 4th day you're in ketosis, maybe the 5th day, and the 6th day, the 7th day you have a cheat day, and then you start all over again. Does that make sense? Or what I tell people is this isn't a magic pill. Like this isn't this isn't like I'm gonna go eat dessert and then come back and get into ketosis. Does it help with that? Yes, but that's not how we treat this. We treat this as a fuel source every single day. For the first year, I drank 1 of these a day. I did the best I could with my food, and then I kept going, regardless if I felt like it was a good day or a better day or the best day I've ever had, right? But what you need to know is this. If I decide to have that cookie at the birthday party, if I decide to have that pizza, the next day I have ketones to get back on track. It gets my mind right. It gets me feeling better, gets me the energy to get up and move. It gets my body to have control over its appetite, and then I keep going. So my one day doesn't turn into a weekend of a cheat, and then all of a sudden, shoot, I go to the office on Monday and there's donuts, and then Tuesday I go with my friends, and then Wednesday, oh, life group, they brought donuts again, like I've got to eat one, I'll start next week. And then your weekend turns into a week, turns into a month, turns into a year. So you just need to make sure that you've got something to get you back on track. So I tell people simple things like you got to drink a lot of water, you're going to have to keep this stuff out of your house, right? It's here. A majority of people's fat loss or feeling better, taking control of their health is right here. If you're not even fueling your mind right, guess what? Like, you're probably like this is going to go, you're not worth it. You can't do this. You're already too overweight. It's not like, sorry, it's too late. It's not too late. It's never too late for you to do this. Like, it's never too late to draw a line in the sand and go, I'm taking control of my health 1 day at a time. That's what we did, and you can do it too. That's why this page exists. We created it to go, you know what? We're just gonna track what our family does. I have no idea what I'm gonna share. I've never done social media like this before. If you would have seen my first videos, I stuttered, I messed up my words, but all I did was, if I can help inspire another family to be better, and if we can help, as we learn, we can help and teach other families, like it's all worth it, right? And that's what we did. And so lastly, to sum up it all, we go by the good, better, best rule. What does that mean? All it means is there's good options. Maybe you drive through the McDonald's with the whole soccer team and you take the bun off the burger. That's a good option, right? Instead of grabbing the fries and a Coke and a Big Mac. It's a good option. A better option is you brought your lunch pail and you've got your snacks packed in there and you're eating the food that you packed. The best option, I kind of joke about this because people really get really nitpicky about organic meats and organic vegetables. And I say, you know what? You're right. The better option for everybody is to have their own cow in their backyard, to grow their own vegetables, to have their fruit tree in their front yard, and to have their water filter. Like, there's a good, there's a better, and their best. So every time you're in that situation, go, what could I do to make this a better option? Or what is the best option that I have to choose from? Or do I need to walk out of the lounge at the office? Or do I need to say no to the employees at the lounge because I'm gonna eat what I packed today in my brown paper bag? Or am I gonna say, kids, we're not gonna have the cereal today. We're gonna go and do this. And so that's what I wanted to walk on here and talk to you about. It's a very simple process. Do not get overwhelmed. Do not go, hey, I want to feel better and not do anything. It is better to do a little bit, even if it does not meet the expectations you have for yourself, than to do nothing. So this is where I started. This is what I will talk about all day long because I would have never started with the keto diet ever in my life, ever. So lastly, I mail these out all the time, almost every single day. There's a lot of you that have them or getting them. There's a lot of you that we talk all the time, and I love it. And so you can post 5 or 10 in the comments. I will send you just an idea of what this is. Again, the benefits of ketones: fat loss, focus, energy, better mood, better sleep, better digestion. Ketones preserve muscle. So a lot of people go, well, do I have to be on a fat loss journey? No, you don't. There's a lot of athletes drinking ketones that feel amazing. They actually preserve your muscle. They help with lots of different things. We've got an entire Spartan team drinking ketones Their times are out of this world, like doing phenomenal. They feel amazing. They look amazing. Their times are better, right? There's lots of different benefits. And what I need you to understand is this. You don't have to be eating strict keto to drink this. I've got vegans. I've got people that do Whole30. I've got people that eat healthy, whatever your healthy is. Like, this is their fuel source. They drink this every day, and then we chat. We lock arms together. They send me pictures. What do you think of this food? Hey, should I eat this? Can you give me a suggestion to eat this? And we work together. That's what I do all day besides homeschooling our girls and being a wife and a mom and talking to a lot of you. And so with the 5 or 10 day, you're going to get a variety of flavors. I'm going to walk you through how to do this. You're going to try it without committing a month to anything. And you're going to go, Stephanie, I love the lime, or this is by far people's favorites. I love the heart tart. You're going to shake it up in 12 to 15 ounces of water. You're going to drink it under an hour, and you're going to message me every day. And you're going to go, I've never had more energy. I've never had more focus. I feel amazing as a mom. If you follow me, actually, I need you to go follow me on Instagram because I share a lot of screenshots of what people say. I get comments every single day of how people are feeling, what they're seeing. Like, oh my goodness, the scale hasn't moved, but I've lost 4 inches. Or, oh my goodness, I've never slept better in my life. Or, oh my goodness, I cleaned my entire house today and usually I'd be on the couch. Like, you cannot deny it. It's truly phenomenal. Lastly, if you want the research on this, if you want to know from the doctors and the experts, if you're like, this mom is a mom, but I want to see X, Y, and Z, I've got it for you. So guess what? Private message me and I will send you the research. Go, Stephanie, shoot me over some research so I can watch what you've got on this product. Or message me and I will give you some food ideas. Or message me and I will get you some info on the 5 or 10 day. Don't be afraid to ask for help. All too often people stand on the sidelines and they just sit there and they wait and they watch. Get in the game. The game is called life and it's about taking control of your life, right? And so I will get back with all of the other questions in here. I can't scroll through and see them all, but I will get back with you very, very shortly. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. I appreciate you all.